So guys, you can see that I have cut out the front and I have also cut out the back. Okay, so like I said, the front we have a slit so that it can enable us put our head on, while the back won't have any slit. Okay, so and I've also cut out these pieces for our facing. I will show you guys how we are going to cut the facing right away. So let's start with the front facing. Okay, so this material I cut out is, I made it 7 inches by 11 inches. I don't even know, let me measure it. Okay, 7 inches by 10 inches. So I have up to 8 inches here and 10 for 8 inches for the facing. So I'm going to place my material for the facing. See how I'm placing it. Then I will secure it with a pin. So I want this how I consider the length of my facing, I added the 3 inches depth plus 5 inches I want for the slit, so it's 8 inches, then plus the seam allowance, folding allowance. So that's why I made the length of the facing under 10. Okay, so I'm going to pin it down. So I want the facing to end at least 3 inches from the shoulder, or let me make it 3, 4, 8 from the shoulder. So that's why my facing, where my facing will end, and I'm marking it through like so. So after that, what I'm going to do is to cut out this facing. I'm going to pin this side down so it won't move. So once I secure the neckline, get it. So I said I wanted 3 inches for the facing. Like from here to here, I'm marking 4 inches. Let me make it 4 inches. Then for the slit, 5 inches, then extra 2 inches seam allowance. So from this point, I'm connecting it like so. So this will be the facing of the front. Then for the back, I'm also going to place this facing under. So I'll do the same thing to the back. So the shoulder of both facing must match. So I'm also marking 4 inches. Okay. So to okay, so I will remove it. Then I'm going to mark 3 inches, or let me make it 4 inches, then 4 inches for the back. Then I'm connecting it. Okay. So this is our back facing and this is our front facing. After cutting out the facing, I grabbed the facing of the front, I placed it right side facing each other on the front. So this line you are seeing here, I locate the center line of my front bodice. Then from that point I mark down 5 inches. So this 5 inches is where my slit is going to end. So what I'm going to do basically is I'm going to go to my sewing machine. I'm going to sew it by half inches round, and when I get to this place the slit is, I'm going to come all the way, sew it all the way like this. Then I'm going to sew it all the way. So after that I will come to show you guys. So this is the back. I've also placed the facing, right side facing each other. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the sewing machine and sew it all the way, and I will be back to show you guys how it looks. So guys, I'm done joining the facing of the back and also the facing of the front. So you can see how I join the facing of the front. You can see I locate the middle point. Then you can see how I sew it round. Okay, so what I'm going to do basically now is that I'm going to slit through that center part that I marked. Okay, so I'm going to notch round the neckline so that it can be the last. So after that I'm going to turn it out like so. So I'm going to go to my table and I will give it a good press. So I'm going to give it a good press so that it can last very well. Then I'll come back to show you guys. Then the back also, we are going to notch it all around. Then you are going to flip it inside. So I'm going to go and give it a good press, turning in the facing. So this is the final outcome. So this is the front and this is the back. So at the back I used hemming gum to secure it so that it can stay in place, and I also did the same thing. I used hemming gum to secure it so that it won't be coming out. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do right away is to join both shoulders. So for us to do that, we are going to join them right side facing each other. Okay, so right side facing each other. So what you are going to do is that you are going to make sure that these 2 points rhyme. Okay, then you are going to bring out each of the facing like this. Okay, and like this. So we are going to sew it straight. So I'm going to pin it like so. I hope you guys are seeing what I'm doing. Then you make sure these two points, these two shoulder points rhymes. Now pin it all the way. So I'm going to go to my sewing machine to sew it straight. So you do the same thing to the other side of the shoulder. So you make sure these 2 points match. Then you hold it here and bring out the facing of the front and the facing of the back like this. Okay, then you pin it. Then you make sure that these 2 shoulder points matches. You pin it there. And you also pin it here. So you can see we are going to go to our sewing machine to sew it. Then I'll go to my sewing machine and I've sewn it. I've also sewn the other side. So let's turn it out. So I'm going to flip it over. Then it gives us this neat finishing. So I'm going to use this hemming gum to tape it down so that it can stay. Okay, sewn it down. So this is how the outcome looks like. It's really looking very beautiful. So the next thing I'm going to do right away is to go to my sewing machine. I will join it by the side. I will pin it up and join it by 1 inch at the side. I will also pin it up and join it by the side. Then this is the sleeve pattern we worked on earlier on. So I added my seam allowances. Then I'll use it to cut the sleeve I'm going to use. So the sleeve I'm going to put will be a short sleeve. So I will use this sleeve that we drafted. If you've not checked my video on how to draft a perfect sleeve pattern, it's on the link below. So just go and check it. That I've used the sleeve we drafted earlier in the other tutorial. So I've used the sleeve to cut out the sleeve we are going to use for this project. So the length of the sleeve I'm using is 948 plus the hemming allowance. So when I hem the sleeve, so I will be left with 848. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to my sewing machine. So I'm going to fold it like so. I will sew it here, then I will also use my hemming gum to hem the sleeves. After that, I will join it to my But for the sake of the beginner, I'm going to show you guys how to join the sleeve. Okay, so the first thing you are going to do, as you can see, I've pinned this one, so I want to show you guys how you are going to pin the second one. Okay, so this is my sleeve. You see this end, this seam and this seam, the seam of the bodice and the seam of the sleeve. Open it up and join it together. Okay, like this. So make sure both seam are rhyming. Then you are going to get the middle point of your sleeve. You match it up with the seam of your shoulder line. Okay, so you are going to mash it up like so. So from here I'm putting my hand, from the neckline I'm putting my hand, so I'm going to mash both points together like so. Then I'm going to bring it out from here. So when I bring it out from here, I'll make sure that both points are matching. Then I'll pin it down. So after that, I'm going to adjust the rest of the sleeve to pin it. Okay, so adjust the rest of the sleeve, and I'm going to pin it up. So you can see I've pinned it up. The next thing I'm going to do is to go to my sewing machine and I will sew it done with. So guys, you can see the outcome of this beautiful tutorial. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. If you've not subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. Thank you guys very much. I will see you in the next one. Bye.